Hey there, young explorers. Captain Sky here, your cosmic storyteller and your friend from the stars. And today I'm going to tell you a story that's not made up, but real, brave, and heart-touching. Today's story is about a very special traveler. One who wasn't an astronaut, scientist, or engineer. She had 4 legs, soft fur, and the bravest heart in the universe. It's about a little dog who became the first living creature to orbit Earth. But this isn't just another space story. It's about courage, kindness, and a tiny heartbeat that reached for the stars. Our story begins in Moscow. A long time ago, in the 1950s. It was winter. The streets were cold and grey, and in a quiet corner near a marketplace, a small stray dog curled up beside a box, trying to keep warm. She had no family, no home, but she had courage in her eyes. She was a mongrel, but husky or terrier. But before the world knew her as Laika, she had many names. Some called her Kudryavka, which means little curly. Others called her Limonchik, which means little lemon. And Damka, which means little lady. You see, no one really knew what to call this tiny stray dog from Moscow. But soon, everyone on Earth would know her story. The world was in the middle of what we now call the space race. 2 countries, the Soviet Union and the United States, were trying to be the first to reach space. The Soviets had already launched Sputnik 1, the first satellite ever. And now they wanted to send up something even more daring. You know what that is? A living being. Scientists thought, if we can send a living creature to space and bring it back, maybe one day we can send humans too. But who could handle the weightlessness, the sounds, the pressure, the loneliness? They needed someone small, calm, but brave. One cold winter morning in Moscow, scientists walked through the snowy streets searching for small, calm dogs, not pampered pets, but street survivors. Dogs who knew how to stay strong in tough conditions. And guess who they found on the streets of Moscow? Yes, our little Laika. A small, scruffy, curly-haired pup with clever eyes and a wagging tail. She was about 5 kilograms. Pretty light, quick, and full of life. The scientists took her in. They didn't just want a cute dog. They were looking for a hero. Someone who could stay calm inside a rocket, alone, with strange sounds, vibrations, and darkness. A dog who could endure stress and still trust humans. And that's how Kudryavka, our little curly, became Laika, meaning barker. Western newspapers were confused. They called her all kinds of names. One even nicknamed her Mutnik, after Sputnik, the first satellite. Laika was taken to a special training center, a place full of scientists, gadgets, and other dogs. Here, kind scientists taught her how to live like a space traveler. Laika wasn't alone. Laika joined two other dogs in the training center. Albina, the experienced one, and Mushka, the ground tester. Albina had already flown in test rockets and was Laika's backup. Mushka was the control dog who would stay on Earth. The trainer spoke kindly to them. Good girl, Laika, said, stay calm. But man, the training was tough. She and other dogs were kept in ever smaller cages, no bigger than washing laundry machine. And not just for a few hours, but for days at a stretch, to mimic the cramped cabin she would be put in when she'd be launched from planet Earth. These dogs were exposed to very loud noises, vibrations, and placed in centrifuges to simulate rocket forces. Her heart and blood pressure would soar under stress. She practiced staying calm when the capsule shook and roared in giant machines. She was fed special space food, jelly-like meals from tubes. Why jelly, you might ask? Because in space, there's no gravity. So if food floated, it could clog her breathing or block equipment, so the jelly stayed put. The scientists talked very softly to her, calling her our little cosmonaut. And though Laika couldn't understand words, she definitely understood kindness. Every day, Laika wagged her tail and trusted the humans around her. They knew she was brave, but deep down, they were sad too, because frankly speaking, they didn't have the technology yet to bring her safely back home after she was launched. One of the scientists, Dr. Vladimir Yazdowski, grew very close to her. And just days before the launch, he took Laika home to play with his children. He later said, I wanted to do something nice for her. She had so little time left. Her training lasted weeks. The mission's goal wasn't fame, it was science. To understand how living bodies react to space, which includes a study of their breathing, their heartbeat, and their stress levels. So one day, human beings could also safely follow. The big day arrived. It was November 3rd, 1957, the day the world would remember forever. It was a freezing morning at the Baikonur launch site. The rocket Sputnik 2 stood ready, tall, silver, rumbling with power, ready to roar into the sky. Laika was gently placed inside her tiny capsule. Sensors were attached to her to watch her heartbeat, her breathing, and movement. Scientists wanted to know, can a living creature survive space? Can it eat, breathe, and stay calm in zero gravity? These answers would pave the way for humans to follow. And unless they had these answers, there was no way for us to go. Scientists whispered their goodbyes to Laika, and one even kissed her nose. Be brave, Laika, they said. And then the countdown began.
Initiating launch sequence.
3, 2, 1. The engines roared. The ground trembled. In seconds, whoosh! The rocket shot through the clouds toward the stars. And Laika, the little stray from Moscow, soared into the sky. Up, up, up she went, higher than mountains, higher than clouds, until... There was only blackness, silence, and the glow of Earth far, far below. Laika felt weightless. Her paws floated gently above her head. Her heart raced faster and faster, almost 4 times its normal beat. But soon the shaking stopped, and Laika floated weightless. For the first time ever, a living creature was looking down on Earth from orbit, and no human being had ever seen what she saw back then. Scientists on the ground listened carefully. Beep, beep, beep. Her heartbeat came through. They cheered. It worked! Laika had made it to space. She could see her planet below, blue, round, glowing with light. Can you imagine what she thought? Maybe she wondered, where are the streets? Where are my friends? But she stayed calm, her little paws tucked under her chest. But space isn't always easy, my friends. Soon after the rocket reached orbit, something went terribly wrong. A part of the rocket didn't separate properly. The cooling system failed, and inside Laika's capsule, it started getting hotter and hotter. Laika panted, but the heat kept rising. The temperature inside Laika's cabin began to rise 30 degrees, 35 degrees, 40 degrees centigrade. Laika panted and tried hard to breathe in the heat. Her sensor showed her heartbeat growing slower. And then after about 5 hours, the signal stopped. Laika was gone. Little dog who showed humans the way to the stars had become a star herself and became the first space traveler. Not human, but a loyal friend. At first, no one knew what really happened. No one knew. The Soviet Union said she had lived for days. But years later, scientists told the truth, that she died a few hours after the launch. When people found out, they felt sad. Some felt heartbroken that she never came home. Children started drawing pictures of Laika. Artists started making songs. The Moscow radio called her the first cosmonaut. Western newspapers were amazed and sad. No one had imagined that a dog would go so far. Some people called her a hero. But everyone agreed she changed history. She was proof that life could survive space launch and orbit. And because of her, humans like Yuri Gagarin could one day say, "I see Earth, it is so beautiful." Laika's mission showed the biological effects of space travel on one's heartbeat, breathing, and stress levels. And this certainly helped the scientists prepare for human expeditions. Scientists promised to always be more careful and kinder to animals in space. Sputnik 2 circled Earth for 5 months before burning up. But Laika's story still shines. In Moscow today stands a statue, a rocket with a little dog perched on the top, tail high, looking at the sky. Every rocket that launches owes a whisper of thanks to that brave stray. Laika didn't know she was making history. She didn't know about scientists, experiments, or fame. She just did what dogs do best: trust, love, and stay brave. And that's what made her a true explorer. So the next time you look up at the night sky, Find the brightest star you can see and remember the little dog who showed us the way. This is Captain Sky, signing off from my cosmic ship. Until next time, little astronauts, keep your hearts brave, your eyes wide, and your dreams aimed at the stars.